And welcome to Your City in Action here on Access TV. I'm your host, Todd Pittenger from the Alpha Media Group of radio stations, news director mainly for KSAL Radio here in Salina. Thank you everyone for tuning in today to our program. Our special guest today, I'm excited about the show today. It's going to be a fun show. We're going to talk things all Smoky Hill River Festival all the time. With me, Grace Peterson from Salina Arts and Humanities, and Stacy Ash from Salina Arts and Humanities as well. What's your title, Stacy?
I am the Arts Education and Entertainment Coordinator for the festival.
And Grace, your
and
title?
I'm Visual Arts Coordinator.
Visual Arts Coordinator. Well, it's a big year this year for Salina Arts and Humanities. Let me make sure I got this straight now. 50 years of Salina Arts and Humanities this year, 40 years of the Smoky Hill River Festival, which is probably your most visible thing that you do, and 30 years of the Smoky Hill Museum, which is where you are housed. So big year, 30, 40, and 50 year anniversary. And I take it both of you have been here all 50 years with Arts and Humanities, right?
I'm 150 years
Okay,
old.
there you go. Well, let's talk Smoky Hill River Festival. Had the big unveiling a few days ago. We'll start with you. Talk about the entertainment. People come to see some of the great shows. Talk about some of the entertainment at the 2016 40th anniversary Smoky Hill River Festival.
Well, we had a lot of fun this year. Being new, I was really getting to know my committee, who is a great group of citizens that come in and kind of help through the selection process. We certainly have a lot of bands that submit.
And we might mention you were here for the River Festival last year, but
Yes.
just barely. You'd been on the job about 2 weeks, right?
Yep, exactly. So I hadn't done the lineup, and I was kind of more as a gopher at that point, just kind of being there, which I think is going to be extremely helpful, having that kind of snapshot this year going into it. So this year, the big focus for our committee was really on getting some kind of youthful, maybe a little bit edgier stuff in there, a little bit more alternative stuff. Because when we go out, as we do often, canvassing kind of the community and saying, okay, so what would you like to see? How are you represented or not represented, and how can we do a better job? And kind of a resounding thing that I heard from the younger group is that there's really nothing musically at the festival. There's niches, there's a band here and there, certainly not, that's not a blanket statement.
Some of the old favorites that always come back.
Yes, exactly. And also that kind of like, there's bands that have kind of sounded the same a lot. It's certainly been brilliantly done in the past, but we're just kind of trying to maybe hit that 20-something niche a little bit more. So with that in mind, we went into our selection process, and I feel like we did a really good job of hitting on a mixture of groups that are there's gonna be something for everybody there, but there are certainly a few groups that are definitely there for that 20-something crowd.
Well, you've got everything from big band Friday night to kind of cutting edge alternative music as well. So
yes.
Talk about the yin and the yang of the music.
Well, I'll kind of start with our headliners maybe and kind of trickle down. Friday night we have a big country group coming in called Reckless Kelly.
Right.
And
I've heard good things about them.
Oh, I am so excited. I'm very excited about this group.
Yeah.
They certainly have, especially when you listen to their CDs, that they have a fairly traditional country sound to them, maybe a little bit harder with a little bit more of a rock and roll flavor, but definitely anybody with that country sensibility is just going to fall in love with this group. I had the honor of going to see them live at the Hat before I kind of like made our final decision. The committee had listened to a few of the videos. It was like, I wasn't quite sure where I was, and seeing them live completely turned me. They're amazing live. They're a great show. They have a little bit more of that outlaw country sound when you see them live. They have a little bit more of that kind of alternative
Red
country
dirt,
sound.
outlaw country kind of sound.
Yes, and there's a mandolin player, so you can really kind of boogie and get down too. It's really, they're a fantastic show. So Reckless Kelly is going to be something I think everyone in Salina can really, get behind.
And that is the Friday night headliner.
That's the Friday night headliner at 8:30. Right. And then one of our committee members brought up Band of Horses, which is a great alternative band, alt-rock band that's been out for a few years. And they were a little bit above our price point, but what we started doing was looking at, okay, so what are bands that have kind of that sound and that flavor? And we came across a band called the Rocket Boys.
The Rocket Boys.
The
All
Rocket
one
Boys.
word, Rocket Boys.
Yep, Rocket Boys. And they've also been around, honestly, for a really long time. I'm a little surprised I'd never heard of them before, but they're fantastic. And they really have that same kind of alt rock, a little sweet, a little poppy, but but with just enough edginess to them that they still are in that alternative rock category. And they've been featured on shows like, I think, One Tree Hill and Glee, even, which is pretty cool. So they've got a little bit of notoriety out in the country. And then I am really excited about our Sunday headliner as well, and they're going to be there throughout the festival. But they're such a powerhouse of a band. We decided to have them be the Sunday closer. So,
final act of the River Festival.
Final act of the River Festival, and it is a band called Sunu. That's S-U-N-U. It's all capital letters, out of Lawrence, Kansas, and. It's a big group of musicians. There's 9 of them on stage, and they've all been playing together for years in various bands and various incarnations in Lawrence and Kansas City, and they're a great sound. Yeah, they've got drums, percussion, timbali drums, djembe drums. There's actually someone with losing my train of thought here.
A guitar?
A guitar, no.
A whole assortment of instruments. How about that?
Turntables was the term I was looking for.
Kazoo?
I was trying to do
Sure. Like the old
might be a
DJ
kazoo.
mixing.
Turntables. So it's definitely got that kind of like big band brassy funk sound and kind of like Afrobeat sound. But then you've got someone scratching records too. So even within that band, there's still kind of that more youthful edge to it that's paired with that traditional sound, which is what I think is really cool about Sunu. And the lead frontman for them has an amazing voice. He's a trumpet player as well, but he also has vocals, and he's just amazing.
He'll blow you away with his voice.
He'll blow you away.
Now, you mentioned to me one of the bands that's going to be at the River Festival, their music has been in The Walking Dead.
Yes, that was Parsons Field, which they're formerly known as Old Shine. And they just recently, I think within the last year or two, changed their name to Parsons Field. But one of their songs, I think it's called Weeds and Wildflowers, was it introed one of the Walking Deads of this season. I was just sitting there on my couch watching The Walking Dead, and the first few chords of the song, I was like, oh my
and
God.
There's a zombie out there walking. Now, they're not the zombies, they're just providing the music
No,
for the
it's
show,
actually, they have a fun little bluegrass, and so it's like dee 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 dee, and there's like a zombie coming. But that was a very cool thing to see.
So again, we're talking to Stacy Ash, Grace Peterson from Salina Arts and Humanities here on Your Community in Action on Access TV. Let's shift gears a little bit. It is a festival of the arts, isn't it?
It is.
Music is an
Plural.
art, but you are an artist, a festival of the arts. Grace, let's talk about the art of the Salina River Festival.
Okay, I do want to say too, she seems not excited about her job at all.
No, not at all. She is just
not committed to new and
you can never
fresh
get her to
things.
open up, can you?
I don't know what we're going to do with her, seriously. So yes, the arts. It's
You've got
arts
artists
plural.
from literally all over the country coming for this event, don't you?
Yes, we do. Like 32 different states. It varies from day to day, but we have a huge number of artists that come through our town and become ambassadors for our town, which is really great.
Yeah.
And it's true with musicians and pretty much anybody who comes to work at the festival. People that we invite throughout the country come.
So
they
it's
enjoy
word
the
of mouth from people that have been here.
A lot of times, and I mean, to be honest, it's a great festival. It's not just word of mouth, but like it's just people come because the craft show is in the top 50 in the country. The art show is in top 100.
The community supports it. They come out and they spend money.
Absolutely, and so it's not just a really good quality show. They enjoy being here because they know that we enjoy them being here, right? They feel that hospitality, and that's one of the big things that we get from our artist responses. We try to treat them like our family as much as we possibly can.
Tell me about some of the more unique things that will be there this year.
Okay, this year we do have a few things that are new. We have 18 brand new artists throughout the 3 shows. We have a couple of things that I'm really excited about. And when Stacy came on, and she and I have some similar interests in bringing connection to people through the arts and everybody. And that means all different cultures, ages. We're really trying to make connections through the arts, which is what this festival is about.
Absolutely.
It's about community.
Right.
And so she's doing that by kind of bringing in some new stuff, and I'm trying to do that by changing things a little bit as far as the art installations go.
Right.
And I know there's been some installations where there's been some participation, but I really wanted to focus on that this
Right.
year because engagement is really important, especially when we're going through a lot of change in this town, and a lot of people's opinions are being asked, and I think people fail to see how creative they really can be.
Right.
And having them take part in art making helps them identify themselves as like, I do have a say in this. I get to make choices. I can be creative and I can help create something.
So you're going to help people release their inner
Yes.
creativity.
Yes.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, yes, we are. So we've brought in 2 artists. One is from Salina, Neil Ward from Kansas Wesleyan, teaches there, and he's going to be paired with John Hockmeister from KU, and they're going to be pouring aluminum and creating aluminum drawings similar to what they did last year.
Okay.
Which is so fun. And I mean, how many times? I mean, Stacy and I've gotten to do
Right.
that because we did that in school. But
But where else are you going to see that,
yeah.
right?
yeah, I mean, and it's they take care of all the safety equipment. It's just something that you just won't normally be able to do, and it's so fun to watch it. And then there's another AI that we're going to be doing that is from
AI
Brenda-
meaning art installment
ins-
for those that
art
are familiar
installation,
with the
yes.
jargon.
Sorry, yeah, that's true. We have our, yeah. So Brenda Smith teaches Zentangle at the library, and she came to me and had this great idea for creating a community-based art project that will be at the festival too, and so everybody will get to go in there. And Zentangle is one of those things that's really hot, and but any age, any skill level is successful at it,
Right.
and so people really love doing it. We're going to have something there, and she's thinking she's going to take that project on and take it to other festivals all around the world. And so we're the seed.
foundation for
We're
what?
planting the seed for
Right.
that. So I was excited to say, yeah, let's do that. There's another one. Neil Goss was a demonstration artist last year. He's a wonderful fiber artist and does natural dyes. He is from Lawrence, Kansas. He's the demonstration artist with the big crazy mustache last year
right.
who dyed his hands
Yeah.
blue. He's just wonderful and engaging, and he's going to be working with Friends of the River. I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the river this year because
Right.
it's definitely a topic in our town.
Absolutely.
And
And
brings,
it is the River Festival.
it is the River Festival.
It wouldn't be much of a
The
festival without
Canal
the river.
Festival doesn't
Right.
sound as fun.
Absolutely.
The River
The
Festival.
Dry Creek
yeah,
Bed Festival just doesn't really do it for me. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
The somewhat moist, yeah. So a river would, seeing a little bit more water in there would, on a personal level, would certainly be
Flowing
beneficial.
water through there would be
Flowing,
beautiful.
clean
Moving.
water.
Yes.
Non-silty.
But, and I know that they've had different projects that in the past that have highlighted the river, and this
Yes.
is no different than that, except they're going to be partnering with volunteers from Friends of the River. So Neil's going to come in and do a little workshop with them
Right.
and teach them how to backstrap weave, which is a South American style of weaving that you do on a tree or a post. And they're going to, the Friends of the River have done some river cleanup. They're taking their sticks from the cleanup and saving them, and Neil and his volunteers are going to weave them into these huge totems that are then going to be installed in the river, and they're going to slowly fade
And
into the
permanently be there,
environment.
right?
Yes,
Permanently
they're
be
gonna
there.
slowly fade into the environment.
And
much
essentially,
like-
it's recycled items that you're using for
yes,
this, right?
yeah. So we're excited about that, and then the community will be able to help by selecting pieces that they want woven in and things like that. So that's one. And then let's see, the last one that I forgot our gear project. Yeah. So Stacy and I collaborated a little bit through Arts Infusion.
You two collaborated
We
on
did.
something?
I
Uh-oh.
know.
We did.
Uh-oh, this is going to be
Cat's out of
good.
bag.
Yeah. So we both were interested in bringing hip hop
Hip-hop culture, yeah.
to not just the festival participants, but to arts integration and arts infusion. So I'm doing, or no, I'm not doing it, but I'm helping facilitate artists to come into the schools for the USD 305 bond project.
Oh, nice.
And we've completed several schools, but for the junior high schools, we wanted to do something really special. And Cash Hollister from here and Gear from Kansas City, he's the artist we usually hire to do the graffiti murals. We teamed them up to talk about hip hop culture as a positive thing and go to the schools. They came and Gear, in order to create a mural, needs some information. And we talked with the 8th graders. We went out there and both Cash and Gear talked to them about their past, creative past, how they use their creativity, how they kind of plan their work, or and what hip hop culture was really about and how it's influenced them in a really positive way about reflecting their community. So the kids did some drawings, some writings, gave them to Gear. Gear's taken that information and now he's going to create murals that will be placed permanently at both South and Lakewood middle schools that the kids commission themselves, in essence, by just talking to them and giving them writing. So those are going to be created
That's
at
a very
the
cool
festival.
project, yes.
It is, because they're going to be able
Yeah.
to see them being created.
And then they're going to see them, if they're younger, the next couple of years at school also.
Yeah,
they're gonna keep
yeah.
them at school. So
Yeah, so-
We're talking all things Smoky Hill River Festival today on Access TV's Your Community in Action. Stacy Ash from Salina Arts and Humanities, Grace Peterson from Salina Arts and Humanities joining us, and we talked about it. It is a festival of the arts.
Yes.
Could food be considered an art?
I'm going to say yes.
You're going to say yes?
Yeah.
I am.
And every year, one of the mainstays for a lot of people is the food at the Smoky Hill River Festival. Stacy, I think this goes back to you now.
It does.
Hit me with some of the new food that's going to be there, some of the weird, cool, kooky, strange food that I'm going to sample this year.
I am sounds a little weird, but I think it's going to be super amazing. From No Taste Like Home, she's bringing us strawberry turkey sliders.
Strawberry turkey sliders.
Yes.
That sounds interesting.
I think it's going to be lovely. It sounds to me like something that's going to be really refreshing. So that's something new. And then that same booth is actually doing chicken and waffles, which
That's a southern mainstay, isn't it?
Man, and it is so good. And to my knowledge, that's never been at the festival.
I don't think
before.
it has either.
Like, I'm gonna be gnawing on some chicken and waffles. I mean, that's gonna happen.
You can throw the diet out the window the days of the River Festival.
The best part is finding about this. We plan our menu and our shopping
Right.
months in advance.
We've got Chubbs and Spuds is going to come to us with some fried oysters this year. I know that was something that we had saw when we were jurying and thought it sounded great, and they were perfectly agreeable to doing that. Chapman's, actually a local favorite, is going to be back this year, which we're all very excited about, and she's just been doing fabulous. She's going to bring, it wasn't there last year, but it's a favorite when she does her street vending, the grilled pork mac and cheese sandwich. Pork mac and cheese sandwich, which, if you've ever had, is amazing.
SANH is a big fan of Chapman's.
Yes.
We will follow them around.
Well, I know, I always try
Chicken
to
and
eat
noodles
healthy.
are amazing.
My guilty pleasure, funnel cake. Is there going to be funnel cake
There's
there?
going to be
There
funnel
will be
cake.
funnel cake there.
There
All
will
right.
be funnel cake, and there will be the homemade ice cream and the homemade root beer. All of those staples will definitely be there. And let's see. I think there's going to be some fried cheese curds, which are new.
Is the beignet guy coming back?
The beignet guy will be back.
So good.
And also the Indian taco guy is gonna do like breakfasty,
wow.
the puffy bread, but with like cinnamon and sugar on it, which I think is gonna
Mermaid
be really
Cafe,
yummy.
are they back?
Mermaid
absolutely.
is definitely
Yes.
back. Absolutely.
With great fresh seafood from the Gulf Coast.
Yeah, one of the only times you really enjoy seafood much
there you
in
go.
Salina,
Well, I
Kansas,
think
is
it's a
during
good
the festival.
point too that you say that you're into eating healthy. There are a lot. Although I usually grab on the really bad, like the stuff that I.
River Festival
'Cause I
days,
can have
I
it,
do
yeah.
also. My
But-
diet goes out the
But
window.
we
Totally.
eat their consecutive days in
Right.
a row,
Yeah.
and so we do go for some healthy stuff. And I think it's important to note that there are alternatives out there.
There are some, yes.
So
and
that you can do some funnel cake, you can have your bad day, and then you can probably be pretty good for the rest of the
I know we
Actually,
have vegetarian stuff too.
They
Yeah.
have vegetarian, and I was going to say Chapman's actually is offering a vegan wrap this year too.
Oh.
They have a veggie wrap and a vegan wrap, and then there's definitely, I mean, Mermaid has all sorts of salads and some vegetarian options, so you can definitely be healthy. I think one of my other favorites is the
You
stuffed
can, but why would you
cucumbers.
want to?
Right. Well, but if they do it good enough,
Right.
you know what? Healthy can be absolutely
Well, yeah, you're
lovely.
right.
You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
Yeah.
So,
Excellent point.
Yeah.
Again, we're
it's-
talking all things Smoky Hill River Festival here on Your Community in Action on Access TV. Let's talk about the River Festival buttons. If you get them in advance, just $10 to do all this, isn't it?
$10. It's fairly
the
unprecedented.
deal
it
of the
really,
century.
It really is.
And a big
For 3
change
days.
this year in the buttons. We need to let people know. It
Yep.
used to be
Yeah.
up until the day of the festival
Yep.
jam, you could get your buttons for $10.
Yep.
That has changed this year.
Yes.
Talk about that.
That is changing. Well, we're cutting off, I think, is it noon on Monday?
I think it,
It's noon on Monday before the
Monday
festival.
before the festival.
Before the
so
festival.
don't wait till the last second to get your festival button.
The reason why we're doing that is so that we can collect them because we only have a certain number made, and so we need to collect them from all the outlying cities, get them together, redistribute them, and it takes time to do that. So,
And the buttons are the #1 way to fund the Smoky Hill River
40%,
Festival.
I believe,
So a large
40%,
percentage of
yeah.
the funding
Yeah.
comes from the
So,
buttons. So
yeah.
we would ask that buy a button, don't share
Yeah.
Buy
the
a
buttons.
button, please
Right,
don't
right.
share, because you're just taking money out of the pocket
Yeah.
of the festival itself when you do
yeah,
that.
and $10 is I mean,
$10 is nothing for
think-
over 20 bands.
I think my
and-
value meal at McDonald's was like $7 the
Yeah,
other day.
exactly,
So I feel
right?
like $10 is a pretty good deal.
Great
Pretty
deal.
good
All
deal.
of the
Yeah.
entertainment and
Yeah.
everything you
Yeah.
get. Buttons on sale at about 20 different communities around Kansas. They've added Colby and Minneapolis this year as well. I know Dillon's stores in Salina. You can log on to the website to find all of
Yeah.
the locations of all the buttons.
Casey's General Stores, those are nice convenient places to get
Yeah,
them, I believe.
and Dylan's is a great. I mean, just get them when you get your groceries.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right,
so
we're
easy.
winding down just here. Let's hit the, before I let you go, I would be errors in my ways if I didn't ask you about the Medallion Hunt. I'll tell you this, the first year you announced the Medallion Hunt, I was the biggest skeptic out there. I thought, what is that? A treasure hunt? People are, boy, it's taken on a life of its
No,
own.
totally.
It is an event of its own now,
It's an
isn't
event
it?
of its
Yeah.
own.
Yes.
And actually, I'm gonna, as the entertainment person, I am
Right.
gonna plug the Festival Friday, which is May 27th. There's gonna be a noon
Right,
performance.
and that's the
at-
Friday of Memorial Day weekend, right?
Friday of Memorial Day weekend, and Truck Stop Honeymoon, who came and played at the street
Awesome
fair.
band.
They're an awesome band.
Great band.
Great family band. They are gonna be playing at noon, and we will be announcing the very first.
Very
Yeah,
first clue.
we're gonna throw out the first clue there.
Right.
So-
The first clue will be at noon on the Friday of Memorial Day weekend. Then
Yeah.
after that, 2 clues daily
2
Yep.
clues a day.
until it's found.
Yes.
And what does it
until
look
it's
like
found.
again this year?
I can't tell
A lot
you.
of size. You probably don't even know yourself. But each year, it looks like a medallion, right? It looks like a medallion.
Well, it can.
It can, or it could look like a nail, or a bolt,
Yeah.
or a
I think
tree bark.
Right. It's kind of like art. There's a lot
Yes.
of different things that it could be.
And I know a lot of I know friends of mine that actually literally take days off
Yes.
of work now.
So-
they take a day
Yeah.
or two off just to go hunt for the
And
medallion.
a great bonding thing for
Yes.
families. I mean,
Absolutely.
so much fun.
And you
And that
win
was the
several
idea.
$1,000s in cash and prizes.
That
Oh,
was
it's an
the
amazing
idea
prize.
when they started that whole process, was to get people to go outside together, work together, have a fun time, and be creative, think creatively. And that's what they do. Boy, I get excited. I am involved with Medallion, and I had no idea when I moved here.
Right.
I thought it was like, oh, a cute treasure
Cute little
hunt.
treasure hunt, right? Yeah.
People take it very seriously,
Absolutely they do.
and they scour the clues. And I think it's amazing, that kind of urban playground, right?
I do too,
That-
and you really have to think outside the box. I mean, literally, one year it was a bolt in a bridge.
Yes.
I think last year it was a brick in a wall, right?
Yes, yeah, and it's always a lot of fun to try to kind of figure out what that is going to be
Right.
like, and so many people, and it's fun to go to parties and have people not know
Right.
that and hear what they have to say about it. 'Cause
And
it's
people
like,
pull you
do
aside.
have a good
Listen, you
point,
can
what
tell
say?"
me what it is.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
tell anyone.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
get
Just be our little secret.
Yeah, I get friend requests on Facebook that time. You're like, you would not believe. So yeah, I think it's an amazing event. I had no idea. We have several Facebook pages dedicated
Sure.
to it.
And you didn't even
they're
come up with those.
pretty
People, fans of the
No, yeah,
fans
they're-
of the quest, came up with it on their own.
Yes, and every morning when I go out there and and put the clue. There's several people that come, they're diehards.
Standing right there
every
by the
day. They
door.
got their coffee and they're like, hey Grace, how's it going? And they read it. And yeah, it's amazing. I have a lot of fun doing it, and it's one of those things that I've never seen in any other city.
No,
I haven't
not
either.
like that, no.
Smoky Hill River Festival, Salina's annual Party in the Park. 40th anniversary
40th
Smoky Hill River
anniversary.
Festival this year. It all starts with the Festival Jam. That's the Thursday night of the festival. Then, of course, 3 full days. Sunday ends a little earlier. What are the
5.
dates this year?
The dates are, the jam is the 9th,
Right.
and then the festival runs the 10th through the 12th.
So it's the second weekend in June.
In June, yep.
Second weekend in June. Stacy Ash, Grace Peterson from Salina Arts and Humanities. They've been with them for 50 years. No, they haven't. But Arts and Humanities is celebrating their 50th year in Salina. Both of you, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
And
thank
this
you.
has been Your City in Action here on Community Access TV.